Okay, what we're going to talk about today is the technique I use to actually teach the skill development of running. It is a skill development, and I think a lot of the times we have to learn how or what we are doing wrong in the first place. So it's about unlearning our old habits. This is the technique of old way, new way. Now, there's very much an understanding of the neurological connection between brain and muscle. Now, if we don't understand what that is in the current form, so being old way, we can't understand what it is that we are currently doing that may not necessarily be right or helpful or efficient in a manner of running. So the old way, new technique is about giving it an understanding of what that person or athlete is doing in their old pattern of movement. Now, in this case, it is running. So it'd be then giving the athlete an understanding of what they're currently doing. So for things like that, what I do in a running sense or in our technique sessions is allowing the athlete to understand and giving them specific things to think about when they're running. So, for an example, would be, how is your left arm moving? How is your right leg moving? What position are you in when you are in running? It's giving them an awareness of what their old way is. Once that person has an awareness or a kinesthetic awareness, now kinesthetic meaning feel, once they have a feel for how they are currently moving, being the old way, we can then discuss what that means in a manner of efficiency, ground contact time, left and right differential, if they have left side or right side dominance in their movement patterns. I keep using this word patterns because that's what running is. It's a movement pattern, and the series of movements creates your unique pattern. Now, once the athlete can understand what they are currently doing and how that feels, that's then when the really important piece comes into, and I can use the second part, which is being the cues that I use to create change. The cues that I use to create change is very different to the norm. So we talked about in one of the last videos about what is it that I do different, and it's the cues to give that person an awareness or a feel to create their new way. So now they have an old way, and they can feel what that is, they can understand what that is doing for them, and they can have a new way. This gives them the choice, or the brain the awareness of two options of what old way feels compared to new way. Now, this does two things. One, you can understand what the new way is doing for you as opposed to the old way. And two, you can replicate it. So now you become your own coach. So in our sessions, it actually gives us an awareness of what we were doing, what we want to do, and how to actually replicate it. In a running sense, and when you're out running by yourself, you can actually feel yourself going into the old manner. When you feel that happens, you can switch a new way back on. As I said right at the start, it's about unlearning your old habit. You can only unlearn that old habit once you know what that old habit is, and you can only change that habit when you are given something to improve. The two options are your current or old way or new way. If the new way does not feel better, you are less likely to replicate it or want to do it. If you, the athlete, can feel the improvement, then you are more likely to change it. When you are more likely to change it, it becomes habit. Hence, we've changed that movement pattern. Okay, the simplest way of explaining is I'm giving your brain two options, the old way and a new way. If the new way is better, the brain's going to choose it.